So guys, I'm very happy to see all of you here today. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are. So today we're going to have our first consulting alumni networking event. Today, me and of course, Andrei Hamolenko, CEO and the coach of Consulting Masters, going to share with you some very good and interesting content. I think that everyone is ready, and let's start our alumni event. So let me tell you the agenda for our today's event. It will last just 1 hour. And first of all, we'll give you a company update, what's new in our network. Then we're going to share with you special content. And of course, we're going to play some game with you. I hope that you're excited. Yes, so then we will see. Of course, me is Alessa Kim. I'm a client manager at Consulting Masters, moderator of this webinar today. So now, guys, I'm going to pass the word to Andrea because he's I'm very excited to get this word. So, Andrea, please welcome.
Thank you very much for a brief introduction. Hopefully, I'm audible. In all honesty, we used to face so many challenges with preparing this event. I don't know what happened today. My train got late. I had so much troubles with the traffic, but I'm very happy that we all are here. Yeah, I'm so happy actually to see all of you here. I'm extremely excited I have seen actually that people from different continents joined our call today. And I literally want to welcome every one of you, all our coaches present today. Unfortunately, not all the coaches were able to make it. And of course, not all our alumni were able to make it because due to the work restrictions and whatsoever. But I'm even more excited to see all of you guys here. And I want to make this meeting a little bit more personal than usually it is. So can I maybe kindly ask each one of you also to turn on your cameras, because this event is not just a lecture or not for educational purposes. It's for us to get to know each other, especially for the mentees who have been working with us, so that you can further expand your network, get to know more people, and basically also get something out of this event. In the meantime, I just want to give you a short heads up about the update from our company. So what's new with Consulting Masters? I am actually very happy to tell you that 5 great experts joined our team. I want to briefly introduce each one of them. So Mark Ullers unfortunately couldn't make it today. He apologized just before that. He was working at Kearney. He was a project manager there and currently completing his MBA at INSEAD Business School. And most recently, he also got 2 offers at BCG and Bain in Germany. And he just today decided to finally join BCG. So it's also the whole congratulations from the team going to him. And we all wish him a lot of success on this exciting journey. And he will be continued to serve our clients and help them to get their offers as well. I think Alan is also present in the room. So Alan, I would like to pass a brief word to you. Maybe you could briefly introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm joined on 2 devices because I have the wrong Apple headphones. So happy to be here and see everyone and meet everyone. I was 6.5 years at McKinsey in the operations practice and the digital practice. I started as an implementation coach and also worked as a practice expert and then an engagement manager. So a whole bunch of different things. I've also worked for Partners in Performance and ZS or ZS Associates. And since my MBA, and I've always loved case interviewing, case coaching. I think what makes me perhaps stand out is I was actually really bad at it. During my MBA, I failed basically all my interviews except for ZS or ZS because that just required you to understand how to read a graph. And that's actually something that I was good at, but really bad at case interviewing. So I had to learn to think for myself and I had to really study the techniques. And I feel like it's one of the reasons I like teaching them so much. So happy to meet everyone and not embarrassed to share all that information.
Yeah, I always used to love your honesty, Alan. That's what you make so unique. Yeah, and then I would like to pass the word to our next great expert, Rashid. Can you maybe also say a few words about yourself?
Hey, everyone. Just to clarify one thing in the beginning, just to make sure that there is no lie in here. The picture you see here is me before I joined consulting. I look completely different. I did 7 years in BCG. Counts as like 25 years. I worked in BCG Middle East. So I started in London, then I moved to the Middle East and I became the leading principal for the tech and media practice area, covering mostly Saudi Arabia and the UAE. I was also managing the recruitment process from the UK channel, what we call the UK channel BCG, so Oxbridge, London Business School, and the London universities. So I had a lot of fun from selection of the high potential to really the recruitment and the planning of our UK talent. And I left BCG last year, literally 7 months ago, to join Tech Unicorn, an American tech unicorn, as their managing director in the Middle East. So I'm quite busy, but I had a long discussion with Andre, and because I really love coaching, training, and doing those case interviews, I try always to find the time when I can to do this coaching. But it's always a pleasure to really chat with people that are like-minded. So pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, and I also want to really thank both Alan and Rashid for making it to the meeting, because the schedules are so crazy, especially nowadays, that it's not always easy. For these reasons, also Arjun and Cristiano were not able to join. They both are currently completing their MBA at IAC Business School, and Arjun is also currently working at BCG Dubai as a summer intern, but he was also given the full-time position after his studies already. And Cristiano has joined Bain Company. He's also an Accenture consultant. And then on the next page, I also want to share some great news with you. I'm extremely happy to see that we've already hit the mark of 591 mentees who are working in consulting and receiving the offers. And on the next page, basically, we even just for the last 2 weeks, over the last few months, like 17 people received the 33 job offers in almost every leading consulting company, ranging from McKinsey, BCG, and Bain, or BCG Platinum, up to Roland Berger Strategy and Kearney, basically, or boutique companies. So you name it, I'm pretty sure that whatever the company it is, probably have someone who either got an offer there or decided to start working there. And I hope that in future, even more people will be able to join this kind of events. I always try to put them into the right schedule, but it's just so hard to avoid the conflicts if you operate in the time zones from Australia up to South or Latin America. Nevertheless, I'm also, this week was very special because 3 mentees have actually received the job offers or have joined consulting or are about to join it. So the first one was Tamar Rabbani. He was actually one of the most brilliant candidates, in all honesty, with whom I have been working, or our team has been working in the past. It has been a very tough process because he came as an experienced hire with quite a lot of experience in financial services, and he was even considered to be too old for consulting. But he nailed all 5 interview processes. He received all the offers from the leading consulting firms, from McKinsey, from Roland Berger, from PwC, from EY, and I think from Bain. And finally, he decided to go for McKinsey Doha office after all the ups and downs. And he was over 40. I don't remember. I see some comments in the chat, like Paul asked, can we know how old was he? I don't know, 40 plus, basically. I don't know the exact year, but his photo is, as Rashid said, was taken definitely years before consulting. And the second girl, she's also, I think, especially recent graduates from the program, know that person very, very well. It was Rem who came to us as an opera singer. Like, guys, so many of you have studied either business or engineering, very common backgrounds. But Irem had literally nothing to do with all of that. And she really needed to basically start from scratch. And imagine how underconfident a person could be, especially a woman, how many fears, how many doubts she used to have at the very beginning. And that's why it made me so happy about her, when on Monday she finally began at BCG. She's also part of our VIP alumni community and VIP alumni program, where we help people to get ready for the first 100 days and learn term success in career. And I was extremely happy about her accomplishment because she didn't even get so many chances. She only received 2 interview invites, but 2 were the most important. One with McKinsey London and the other one with BCG London. With McKinsey, unfortunately, she didn't make it through the second interview round. But with BCG, she really gave all her best, and now she joined one of the most prestigious consulting company. I even wrote a post about it at the beginning of the week on LinkedIn. And the day after, after that, I received another fantastic news because Jed Chikuri, our current mentee from the group, gave me a call and he made it to Roland Berger. Jed is completing his master's studies at HEC Business School in Paris. And I think this is another story to be told later on. But let's then basically also move on through the content. I also want to share with you that in parallel to all of this, we have been doing quite a lot of work in terms of content development. And we also introduced a wide range of courses for the upcoming consultants, both for those who are currently still in their preparation in different phases, as well as to those who have already received their offers or who are already working in consulting. So basically, we've developed the course for application readiness to help create the application documents like resume or application strategy. The second course, one of the most typical requests is for networking. So how to expand your network, how to gain referrals, how to secure your interview invites. Or the other one is, of course, very classic about the interview readiness, how to get yourself ready for the interviews. And now I'm having even one of the clients, Hassan Abidi, and maybe he's also in the meeting, who is just going through all these courses before his upcoming interviews with Strategy and BCG and Kearney in the Middle East. And he already gave me very, very good feedback that the content is really very precise. And so I'm literally very happy to share this information with you, because this might be also helpful to some of your friends willing to go into consulting, or to yourself if you at any time decide to change from one company to the other. And of course, our VIP alumni program, which help people to become not only good candidates, but also to become extremely good consultants. So feel free to visit our website to find out more about all of this stuff. I simply wanted to give you a brief company overview. Now, before we go to play and play hard, I want to give you a small tip, but I think it was a very, very important to me in my career. I literally wish I could have received that piece of advice in the past, because I made this based on my own experience, and this experience was sometimes painful. If you would have asked me, like, what were the things I wished I could have known about consulting before, that would be it. It would be about how to sell yourself well. And these are the tips which I want to share with you. And maybe also our experts, Rashid and Alan, will give some even more context and add a few more points to this. And then we can play a game with you as well. So I hope that with this piece of advice, it can save you quite a lot of time for a slip, but also guarantee you more success in your careers. Let's move on. And the principle I want to talk to you about is under-promise and over-deliver. It's basically the best way to make other people, especially both internal stakeholders and external stakeholders, happy. What is this principle about? And this is what we're talking in our VIP alumni program in more details. Basically, there are 2 axes how you can measure it. On the one hand, you have expectations, and on the other hand, you have reality. If you manage the expectations properly, if you set them low, for example, then the reality could be just better than the expectations. Then the happiness arises. If you don't manage the expectations, they sometimes might be normal, and you also give the normal reality. Then there is a satisfaction. But if you don't manage the expectations properly, if the expectations on you regarding the work, regarding your behavior, regarding everything are just too high straight from the very beginning, then you can only lose. People expect too high outcome from your side, and you can either be as good as they expect, or you can be just a little bit worse than it is. Then the frustration is caused. And remember one key principle in consulting: you are just as good as your previous feedback assessment, as your previous feedback review. And I want to share with you two stories. So one story was a real S-Bain for me. And in that story, I was already working in Dubai for over a year on one very complicated project. But then one manager, I had a bad luck. I had a new manager who came with zero background, and he was literally overwhelmed. But the expectation in his head about myself was set too high by the previous manager. And unfortunately, we could not get along perfectly with that person on the personal level. So I was not able to correct this expectation very high. And he literally gave me a very, very hard time. I wasn't able to manage that expectation. I wasn't able to improve it. And as the result, I have actually received one of the worst feedbacks in my career, despite that my previous feedbacks with other managers was just brilliant. But the real reason was I could not correct that expectation that he had so high on me. And that's why, I was failing. Actually, by contrast, in my previous phases of the same project or in the previous projects, I was always understating myself. I was trying to behave as an underdog, and I was trying to literally move down the expectations on me by every single manager or partner, not over-promising, but really trying to over-deliver, to deliver as much as I can or even more, while others are expecting less from me. And that's exactly what basically coincided into and resulted into happiness from all other gentlemen in front of me. That was one of the keys which helped me to receive very good feedbacks and to literally fast-track my career, because I was able to receive at Roland Berger at these times, typical promotion cycle was between 18 to 24 months to come to the next position. And I was able, through that, applying those principles, to receive my first promotion already within the probation period in the first 5 months, instead of waiting for 18 or 24 months. And my second promotion, I also received after another 12 months. So in 17 months, I usually went the way which others were doing in 3 to 4 years. So that's one of the key principles. Always try to under-promise and over-deliver. This is a very valuable, and this one principle I want to share with you. And if you go to the next page, you will also see that there are literally 3 people involved in your career decisions, internally seen. This is your personal mentor, your boss, whose job is to help you on the personal side, but whose job is also to supervise your career. Then the project manager, who is basically taking the decisions on your personal careers and giving you all those feedbacks and evaluations. And then there is a practice partner, a senior guy who is doing also quite a lot of stuffing for you. So make sure that with every person, you set up the right communications who are hired. You need to try to learn to play with them, to balance them out, so that, for example, you deliver a really good job in front of that project manager. Ask him to spread a good word of mouth about you to your mentor or maybe to the practice partner. and vice versa. Also, try to learn how you can balance those different stakeholders. I think I have talked quite a lot. So I would also ask Rashid or Alan, what do you think, guys? What do you have to add maybe? Is there any other valuable piece of advice which you would like to share with our alumni?
Let me then jump first. I have a meeting to jump to. I fully agree with the first one. I think really managing expectation. And a lot of people are afraid to say no, right? A lot of overachiever in consulting are afraid to say no. So whenever someone asks you to do something, you say, yes, it will happen. It will be tomorrow. It will be great. I think it's good to manage the expectation from the beginning. And happiness is reality minus expectation. So I think that that's really a crucial piece of advice that you can always take with you in consulting and in life in general. I think a second piece of advice that I always try to tell people is that everything is a narrative, everything is a story, and try when you are discussing with someone, be it your manager, be it your client, you need to leave people the room to exit. You cannot corner someone. So a lot of people, when they are in discussion, where they are in negotiation, when you receive feedback, they are very defensive, they are very aggressive, and that creates a conflict, right? You need to be able to always open the door to the person in front of you in order for you to be able to achieve what you want. Let's imagine a scenario where very simply someone come to see you in a feedback in your first case and said, I don't know, you're really bad in numbers. You are like, your problem solving is weak. You're not good. You're not a number guy, right? And imagine you are a number guy. If you go into that fight, he will be in his position, you will be in your position, and it will never work, right? It's better way to say, look, it makes sense. I might have some struggle in the last few weeks for this reason. Let me focus on it. I'll do A, B, and C to achieve it. And if you are really a numbers guy, you can prove it in the next case. And that person feels very good. It's like, oh, I give you advice and you progressed on this and you improved and you were able to achieve what you want, which is like checking that box and moving on. So I think really like making sure that when you work in consulting, you work smartly, you work without conflict, and you work in a way that you allow people to kind of find an exit and have a good way is kind of a good way to think of a long-term career. And I will keep it short here.
Great.
I agree with everything you're saying. I wanted to build on what Rashid said about saying no. I think I've noticed that in McKinsey, even when I joined, I think it was 2014, there was starting to be talk about insecure overachievers. And I've just noticed that the idea of confidence or lack thereof in the corporate world, I think that you need confidence to be able to say no. But I also think that fast tracking growth, there's another stakeholder here, which is you. And what I mean by that is that you have to be able to not like what you're saying is manage expectations, like under promise. But at the same time, you under promise inside your own head. You can't under promise, right? Inside your own head, you have to over promise, right? You have to say, no, I can do this. I can deliver this. And you have to realize that all of the partners at McKinsey and all the senior partners at whatever firm you're at, they're all talking a big talk. They're all get to where they got because they have a confidence to try new things and take risks. So I would just like to add here the importance of confidence in what you choose to work on. And when you underpromise, that's only externally, but internally, you need to play yourself up and take risks and try to do more than you think is 100% realistic.
Yeah, perfect. Actually, I mean, under-promising always goes with the second principle of over-delivering. That's probably what you guys are also referring to. And I think it's definitely a very, very good learning. And Alan, can you maybe also share your story about a McKinsey manager? I think it's pretty exciting.
I think he was one of these guys that, he got his pension from the military and it was time to retire. And he's like, okay, what else can I do that will actually let me see my wife more than living underwater? So he felt that consulting was a good way to see more of his family. I always like working with military people because they've been shot at with real weapons. So like partners don't scare them and angry clients don't scare them. And they know how to keep things calm for the team. I think that another interesting thing about this guy was what he added to the team in terms of life experience and critical thinking was typically the opposite of a lot of McKinsey engagement managers. Many of them come with little life experience and it may be critical thinking, but they know a lot how to do consulting well. So it was a great add to the team. And we had a guy at the other end who was like a boy wonder kind of, graduated, his parents are professors and he graduated from somewhere amazing at the age of like 20. And then a year and a half, he was an engagement manager. So like we had the two of them on the team who kind of balanced each other out. We had the really smart kid who was a really good consultant. And we had like the elder statesman who didn't know anything about, how to prepare a PowerPoint, but he kind of knew what the client was thinking and how to communicate. So that was the best team I was ever on with those two guys and kind of me in the middle. If you ever have a chance to build a team like that.
Yeah, let's basically also now move to the game, and I will all give you, of course, the right to open this game. Guys, when we were thinking about this event, this is all for networking. Of course, we wanted to give you some useful content, but we also want to help you to get to know each other a little bit better because not everyone knows everyone. And that's why on the next page, let's basically play another game with you. Now, if someone of you is already working in consulting, or we also have here some of our current clients who just want to get into consulting. So let's play the following game. Can you maybe, first of all, briefly introduce yourself whenever you will be talking? So you, Paul, for example, start with a brief introduction and mentioning who you are, where are you coming from, your current position, company, geography, etc. in the first place. And then just answer the question, what are the things that you wish you knew before joining consulting? So that to make it relaxed discussion, but also a very curious and a funny one. Let's get to know each other a little bit better.
So a pleasure to meet everyone. Like I have a good personal relationship with Andre and with Mark Tayrouz. Mark Tayrouz actually introduced me to Andre. My name is Paul. I'm a chemical engineer. I have a master's degree in chemical engineering, specifically in oil and gas. And I just graduated with an MBA from IE Business School. I've been trying to join consulting for the past 17 months. I was always a stakeholder for oil and gas, a supplier, a technical supplier, specifically in specialty chemicals. And I signed my offer almost 5 days ago with a consulting company specifically for oil and gas. It's based in the US and they had a successful market penetration for the past 4 years. And I'll be joining as a senior associate. Next to me, there's a principal. He works in the Middle East. That is why I was asking him about, the tips and all what was going on with the slide. So what I wish I knew about consulting is the following. First of all, meeting such a fine group like you guys. Sorry, I'm a salesman. It's just, like I have it within me just to sell everything. And okay, now to be real, the only good thing that I wish I knew before consulting is not to oversell yourself in the interview process and to know your cases. Very simple. Do not oversell yourself. Be concise in your solution and be charismatic. And that is all I can, and practice makes perfect. I did 190 cases before I landed my job. I interviewed with 15 companies before I landed my job. End of the day, Michael Jordan, he shot 947 winning shots and he succeeded in 145. And that's the secret, I think, to success in everything. That's it. Thank you.
Hello. Nice to meet you all. This is a beautiful group. I can't help but overhear you. And I've been in consulting for the last 10 years of my life. And I'd just like to make a quick comment. I don't want to hijack this whole thing. But the under promise, over deliver, that's perfect. It's the way to go. Except between you and yourself. If it's not with a client, if it's not with your manager, between you and yourself, do the opposite. And I'll give you a quick example here. You can do, for example, 10 kilograms in biceps. Don't fool yourself and say, I'll do 8 this time and then you'll be happy when you do it. No, say I can do 12, fail at it, and then do it again because it's between you and yourself. That's the only life advice I can give on that comment. Otherwise,
thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very lovely one that Paul and even his friend is joining the meeting. Well, that's really cool. Ali, can you maybe briefly introduce yourself and then say what you have to say?
Hi everyone, my name is Ali. I have PhD in physics and currently I'm a postdoc in ETH Zurich, but I don't do research. Actually, I'm working in a client-based center inside university, and the whole idea is that to take projects and deliver good results. And ETH is one of top 10 universities in the world, and they have huge expectations. Actually, I was wondering, I was telling my wife, understood like this, reduce expectation, improve the delivery. And really, this works very well here, because the fact is that when they expect too much from you, but sometimes you cannot really, at least in science, you cannot deliver what they expect, because in science, sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot. But honestly, in last few months, I tried to decrease the expectation from myself, but somehow I'm working very hard to improve the delivery. It works amazing. Really, it works perfectly. And now we have new boss. And before even joining us, he was just asking, hey, can you send me the presentation or the report you sent to this client? Oh, that looks fantastic. I didn't expect from you. I thought, okay, that's great. Yeah, so I wish, Andre, you could tell me this sooner, 2 years ago. And also, I'm very lucky because I just live like 40 minutes far from Andre. I was lucky that I could meet him in person. He's really a great guy. I mean, it's just really nice to have a blue wine with him. And
blue wine.
From the other hand, yeah.
The red wine.
Actually, we have blue wine. But in terms of question directly, what I learned from Andre mostly, because now I'm not really looking for consulting. I mean, MBB, still I'm looking for Big Four in data analytics and data analysis, which is somehow my field. But what I learned from Andre is really, in general, this practice is problem solving, which is, I wish people like Andre could come to university and could teach us, scientists and especially professors, how to manage the resources, the time, and also how to tackle the complex scientific problems. This is really, really necessary. I hope very soon this will happen. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, talk to ATH in Zurich as well as other universities, and for sure I will be happy to visit you guys by invitation. All right, cool. I'm actually also wondering, at least I know that Marcus Skoda, Ahmed Aboujamouz, and Mark Teruz are still working in consulting. So can you maybe also, guys, share some of your experience, very practical one? Marcus, would you like to continue?
Yes, good point, because my boss is calling. So let's do it quickly. I've been working now in consulting for 2 years in Germany. It's a boutique consulting company, digitalization, e-commerce. And what I would like to have known before, to be honest, Andre prepared me well. I met him at Prep Lounge, and we started the journey. And this was kind of a middle in the crisis at the beginning of the pandemic. Kind of every company was rejecting applications during this time or freezing. And there was then this one company. So I started with what I basically learned. That's kind of our philosophy also here is consulting is a marathon. It's not a short distance run. It's continuously running and balancing resources. And that's the critical point. Yeah, it's a long journey.
Cool. Marcus, can you maybe also quickly introduce yourself? Like, where are you located? And what kind of projects are you doing?
The location, we are basically in Stuttgart, south of Germany. We have mainly clients in the medium-sized sector, so Deutsche Mittelstand, the typical family businesses, and strategy projects. On the one hand, due diligence projects for e-commerce and digital companies. That's one big part. So we act a lot with private equity companies. That's one, let's say, branch. And then the other one is distribution strategies, sales strategies. So everything that is how to get your products to the clients, and mainly focusing on the new channels. So e-commerce, direct to consumer businesses. That's our core field, let's say.
Sounds good. Cool. Thank you, Marcus. And Marcus is currently also rejoined us again now to give it a shot from a boutique consulting firm to one of the MBBs or Tier 1 consulting companies, also in Germany. Okay.
So I can start. Thank you, Andre, for this event. I can't turn on my camera, unfortunately. I'm in the middle of something. So a little about myself. I graduated in mechanical engineering, and my journey with consulting started with McKinsey as I got a fellowship when I was in college. I spent 20 hours with McKinsey Company. And from there onwards, I joined a Big Four consulting arm. I've been with them for around a year, and just 2 weeks ago, I got an offer from one of the tier 1 firms here in the region, and I'll be joining in the upcoming few months. I was never a mentee of Consulting Masters or with Andre, but basically the YouTube videos and all of the public seminars that webinars they used to have a year ago helped me a lot in my preparation. So I'm just here to extend my gratitude to Andre and to the team as they helped me achieve my career goal, basically, of joining consulting. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ahmed. And my congratulations also on your offer at Oliver Wyman. Do you have any lessons learned or anything that you would like to have known before you have joined consulting, which you would like to share with others?
I would like to talk about the interviews. My advice is do not approach the interview as an interview. Don't be too stressed about it. Don't act like a robot or try to over-impress. This is the mistake I made when I interviewed with McKinsey and I failed. With Oliver Wyman, I was very casual and I approached it as very friendly, and I had 2 senior partners back to back. The second one was the managing partner of the office. So it wasn't easy at all, but I approached it with a very casual mindset. We had a very nice chat and a very nice case. And I would like to tell you that my cases weren't perfect in the final round, but just because I left a very good impression on the 2 partners, I think that got me the offer. Yeah, that's my advice to all of you.
That's perfect. And I also think that I want to pass the word to Mustafa Bulgari, who might probably have a few questions to you. Mustafa, just briefly introduce yourself. And I'm just about to send you the contact of Ahmed so that you can have a more detailed conversation later on. So let's make a real-time networking,
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mustafa. I'm currently studying at ESSEC. I'm doing a master's in international business development. I've worked for 6 years as a mechanical field engineer, actually, mainly involved in maintenance activities and installation activities on gas turbines and generator with General Electric. And I've been trying actually to get into the consulting industry for the past couple of months. I did a couple of rounds with ADL. I actually didn't make it past partner round, and now I just reached my 3rd round with OW, and I'm quite excited to make it happen this time.
Perfect. Ahmed, can you maybe help Mustafa also to make it to Oliver Wyman so that you might become colleagues in a few months from now?
Yeah, absolutely. Is he applying in the Middle East?
Yeah, yes, I am actually, right. Ahmed. I just got news that I passed my 2nd round, but I don't know. I still don't have my 3rd round scheduled yet.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's different for you because for me, it was only 2 rounds. Maybe because I was applying for a different grade. But yeah, happy to have a detailed chat with you later on.
All right, guys, I have connected you. Anyone else would like to briefly introduce himself or herself? Julia, we haven't heard females yet, except of Alessa.
Hi, I was actually typing a message saying that I need to drop off, but I guess I'll be just very quick because I need to shoot at 6. I'm Julia. I'm based in London. I just graduated from Imperial College with my MBA. I work in business development, and my professional industry, I guess, is quite unusual. It's luxury goods. More specifically, it's luxury furniture, and it's a very much top-end luxury furniture. We work with super exclusive clients on their mansions, on their yachts, on their private jets, and so on. So I guess in terms of client-facing skills, I'm quite equipped when it comes to transition into consulting. And I'm looking forward to work with Andre and getting my job offer.
So that's how it will. All right. Good luck. Alamin Malami, you raised the hand. Can you maybe turn on your camera?
Hi, everyone. My name is Alamin Malami. I am a graduate from the University of Cambridge. Right after Cambridge, I joined Emirates Airlines. I was part of the internal consulting team. I was there on a graduate program, so it was just 1 year in Dubai. I've since moved to Nigeria, and I'm working with a think tank that leads a subnational sovereign wealth fund. I'm looking to transition back into consulting, looking to network with as many people as possible. I would love to specifically move back to the Middle East. I really enjoyed my time there. I'm currently interviewing with Oliver Wyman, so I'm really grateful, Andre, for this platform, because I can see fellow Oliver Wyman interviewees in the audience. Hi, Mustafa, and hi. I know Ahmed has already secured his position, but hi, Ahmed. Love to connect with you too. I'm still looking, and I'm open to networking opportunities. Would love to network with anyone. I'm about building my network and, just forming partnerships and meeting new people. Thank you.
All right, perfect. I'll get you both, or I'll get you three in touch, Alamin, Mustafa, and Ahmed. I'm just sharing your contacts with all of you guys, so please get in touch. And yeah, I think this is, to my surprise, the best value of this event for you three guys, at least. So yeah, can Praneet, Charles, and Afdi Udumula briefly introduce themselves?
Yeah, sure. I hope it's okay if I go first. My name is Praneet. Apologies for not being able to turn on my camera. My internet connection's been very, very weak, and I wanted to make it to this call and listen to you all as much as possible. Like I said, my name is Praneet. I have a background in aerospace engineering, and I have a master's in sustainable systems from Australia. I also did a little exchange semester at TU Delft in the Netherlands. Got bit by the consulting bug during my time in Australia, and I did work for a nonprofit consulting firm for over 2 years. For the first 6 months, I was on the ground. For the next 18 months, I was on their global team, which was a remote role. And I've been trying aggressively to try and get into consulting. And I am currently an associate consultant at a firm called Grant Thornton, but they're predominantly an audit firm first. So their advisory practice, especially in the Middle East, is very new. So it has low maturity. The clients are coming in and out. There's no consistency per se, but I think the learning curve has still been quite good for me. I'm just hoping to get onto a top firm that would give me the full consulting experience. So that's been my aim. I just wanted to say, Andre and Mustafa and Alamin, I would also like to be part of that group. I just got an email from Oliver Wyman saying that once I send in my application, I'll be having an HR interview and then followed by 4 to 5 interviews after that. So, yep, happy to discuss, share ideas, grow together, learn together, and hopefully network together. So that's where I am. My first real consulting interview was back in November with Roland Berger. I made it past the HR round and the first round, but unfortunately fell short in the second round, which is when I reached out to Andre, and he gave me a good lesson on why I should have reached out earlier, which he has a fair point in, I say. And hopefully I can turn things around over the next 2 months. So it's, really time to hustle and grow quickly and nail all my interviews. So thank you again for organizing this. And thank you all for sharing your experiences.
Very cool. So sounds like our Oliver Wyman group is increasing candidate by candidate. So I will definitely set up a group for you guys. But Alamin, please also share your contacts with me. Drop me a WhatsApp. I sent you a private message here over Zoom so that I could put all of you guys in touch. And then I just want to pass the word to the Chels or Abhi Udumula. Can you maybe also briefly introduce yourself, turn on your camera, just tell us about your background and get to know other people.
Hi, everyone. Again, Andre, I want to thank you for doing this webinar. It's really appreciative. I actually came across your page just doing a Google search. Some background on me. I'm actually an undergraduate student at the University of Central Florida in Orlando. I'm from the United States, not exactly like as diverse perspectives as you guys from different countries. I'm studying finance and I'm currently going to be a junior next year. I was trying to get ahead of the game by exposing myself to like consulting and doing some case prep studies. And I feel like if I'm active in this groups and keep working on my case studies, I'm confident I'll be able to secure a Big Four offer. I don't know about MBB at this point yet, but maybe if I do an MBA in the future, I can try and target that as well. I want to thank you and appreciate everyone for their time.
Cool. Happy. I would just please get in touch with our client manager, Alessa, who is moderating this webinar afterwards. And then you can basically discuss all the next steps, how to take it further towards your dreams. Okay, Sami, we were, just to give you an update, we were playing a game of getting to know each other simply through a brief introduction. And also maybe you could mention some of the facts, like what have you wished to have known about consulting before joining? So maybe there is also some of the points from your side.
Thank you so much, Enrique. I'm Sami I'm originated from Algeria, but I lived in France. And right now I'm living in London. So I started from scratch again with the second master in economics, finance, and marketing. Yeah, I'm interested in MBB, but as you know, it's very, very difficult to get in. So step by step, I'm trying to integrate the corporate world, getting some experience before, and then applying for the MBB, because I know they hire specifically from specific schools. For example, in the UK, they hire from LSE, London School of Economics, UCL, University College of London, and they hire also from Oxford and Cambridge, of course. So it's very difficult to get in when you come like me from Birkbeck University of London and stuff. So yeah, I would like to know more, to have the tools and getting more experience and knowing people, because network is very important. It's a pleasure to meet you guys, a pleasure to learn from you, and I wish I will be involved more in this group. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you very much, Sami, for your brief introduction. I would also recommend you as well to get in touch with Alessa. And given on the time, we are just a little bit already over it. So maybe to capture just 5 more minutes of your attention, Alessa, can you maybe show the remaining slides that we have? There are just a few things which I wanted to mention you on this path. If you still guys have any questions, or if you need any advice in terms of your career, how to achieve better goals, or if you want to help yourself or your friends like you, Sami, or other guys, just get in touch with Alessa. You can feel free to book the link with her. And then maybe one last thing on the next page is also just, can you also let us know, how did you like this webinar? How did you like this sort of networking event? I would really love to learn more about the feedback. And please also follow our YouTube channel, our other social networks. You can scan the picture right now, because I think Ahmed Abu Jamous also referred that he was preparing with us through the webinars very intensively, which got him a job here. So feel free to subscribe to our channel. And even next week on Wednesday, we are also going to host the next webinar on case solving part, in case if it is interesting for you. So please subscribe to our channel. I would be extremely happy to see all of you guys. If you can make just a small favor for us and help us to further promote our company and tag consulting masters, me, Alessa, Alan, or other guys from the team here, that would be really very, very nice and very kind from your side. Then I just want to end our presentation with a small gift for you. And we basically have a small present for you prepared. So on the next page, I just want to talk to you about our referral program. So we have a special gift for you today. We've actually, last year, we introduced a special referral and retention program for our clients. So for those people who have already worked with you, and you can help your friends who are also interested in getting into consulting, just make them, get them in touch with us. The way, for example, Mark Theroux made it with Paul. So Mark recommended, after he received an offer at Strategy End in Dubai, he recommended one of his friends, Paul, to reach out to us. And now you see, after Paul has been working with us and having solved quite a few cases, he finally also received his consulting offer. And we also want to help you to benefit from it, because you will be given 10 to 20% of the cash back from the friend you are referring to, from the sum of the services that he or she will be purchasing. So in case some of your friends or connections or a wider network is willing to join consulting, one of the leading firms, feel free to recommend them to us. And this is also one of the ways for us to say thank you to you for your loyalty. And now we can finally jump to the last slide. And I really, on behalf of the entire team, want to thank you for your loyalty, for being with us. I highly value all of you. And I wish you good luck, health, and prosperity to you and your families. And I'm looking towards to see you in our future events. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for joining us, and hope to see you next time.